The silver ship moved through space like a fish swimming through dark water. Commander Veltar stood on the bridge, watching the yellow star grow bigger on the screen. His forearms moved across the control panels with easy practice. He had done this same job for 20 cycles, visiting new worlds and checking if they could join the galaxy's big family of planets. "Another boring water world," said Dr. Kessara from her science station. Her green skin sparkled under the ship's soft lights. "The scans show it has the right temperature for life. Probably just some fish and maybe some simple land animals. Navigator." Thrum made a clicking sound with his mouth parts. "The planet is the third one from the star. Good distance for liquid water. Standard oxygen and nitrogen mix in the air. Nothing special here, Commander." Veltar nodded his large head. "Good. We can finish this survey in a few days and move on to the next system. The Federation wants these outer rim worlds checked quickly." He looked at the blue and green planet spinning slowly on the main screen. "It looks peaceful enough." The ship called Harmony's Edge had visited 47 worlds in the past 2 cycles. Most had no life at all. A few had simple plants or tiny swimming creatures. Only 3 had animals smart enough to use tools. This blue world looked like it. Might be the 4th. "Commander," called out Communications Officer Zephan from across the bridge, "I am picking up artificial signals from the planet. Radio waves with patterns. This means intelligent life." Veltar's eyes opened wider. Finding smart life was always exciting. "Can you understand what they are saying?" Zephan worked at his controls for several minutes. "I am running the signals through our translation computers. The patterns are complex. Very complex. These beings have advanced communication." Dr. Kessara moved to look at the data. "The signals come from all over the planet. Thousands of different sources. These creatures must have a global civilization." "Excellent," said Veltar. "Begin first contact procedures. Send them our standard peaceful greeting message. Let them know we come in friendship." The crew worked quickly to prepare the message. The Federation had rules for meeting new intelligent species. Always be friendly, always respect their culture. Always offer them the chance to join the galactic community. On the planet below, Captain Jake Morrison was floating inside the International Space Station. He was checking the solar panels when his radio started making strange noises. "Houston, we have something weird up here," Jake said into his headset. "I'm getting signals that don't match any satellite frequencies." Dr. Lisa Garcia was working at Mission Control in Houston. She had studied space science for 15 years and had never heard anything like the signals coming through the radio. "Jake, we're seeing it too. The pattern is too complex to be natural. It looks almost like language." Colonel Pete Davis walked into the control room. He was the military man who watched over all space activities that might affect national security. "What's the situation, Dr. Garcia?" "We think someone is trying to talk to us," Lisa said. Her voice was shaking with excitement. "Someone not from Earth." Pete felt his stomach drop. "Are you sure about this?" "The math is clear," Lisa said, pointing to her computer screen. "The signals come from a source about 50,000 miles above Earth. Nothing we put up there. The transmission has structure, grammar, repetitive patterns. It's a language, Colonel." Back on the alien ship, Zephan smiled with his small mouth. "Commander, we are getting a response. The planet dwellers are trying to communicate back. Their message is very simple, but they understand we are here." Veltar felt pleased. "What are they saying?" "They want to know who we are and where we come from. Standard questions for a first contact situation." These beings seemed curious but not afraid. Dr. Kessara looked at her biological scanners. I'm detecting the life signs of the intelligent species. They are carbon-based like most Federation members, warm-blooded. They live on the land surfaces and seem to be spread across most of the planet." "How many of them are there?" asked Veltar. "Hard to count exactly, but the number is very large. Maybe 8 billion individuals. That is a huge population for a single world." Navigator Thrum made his clicking sound again. 8 billion? Most intelligent species number only in the millions when we first meet them. These creatures must be very successful. Jake Morrison was now talking directly to the alien ship through a communication link that NASA had set up quickly. The computers were doing their best to translate both languages. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the planet Earth," he said slowly. "We welcome you to our solar system. We come in peace." The alien voice that came back sounded friendly. "Greetings, Captain Morrison. I am Commander Veltar of the Galactic Federation ship Harmony's Edge. We also come in peace. We explore space looking for new friends to join our community of worlds." Lisa Garcia was recording everything. This was the most important day in human history. "Ask them about their Federation, Jake." Jake nodded. "Commander Veltar, can you tell us about this Galactic Federation?" "Of course," came the reply. "We are a union of over 12,000 intelligent species from across the galaxy. We work together for peace, trade, and learning. When we find new civilizations like yours, we offer them the chance to join us." Pete Davis was making phone calls to every important government leader on Earth. The president needed to know immediately that aliens had arrived. Dr. Kesara was still studying her scanners. "Commander, these Earth creatures seem to live in a wide range of environments. I see populations near the equator where it is very hot, and also near the poles where it is very cold. They are more adaptable than most species." Veltar nodded. "That explains their large population. Good adaptation usually means successful reproduction." He turned to the communication station. "Zephan, invite them to share basic information about their world. Tell them we want to learn about their culture and biology." Jake Morrison felt excited but also nervous. "Commander Veltar, we would be happy to share information about Earth and humanity. Should we start with basic facts about our planet?" "Yes, please," replied Veltar. "We want to classify your world properly in our records. This helps us know how to help you best." Lisa Garcia whispered to Jake through the radio. "Start with the easy stuff: climate, size of the planet, basic geography." Jake began to speak to the aliens. He had no idea that his next words would change how the entire galaxy thought about Earth and humans forever. 3 days had passed since first contact with Earth. Commander Veltar sat in his office aboard the Harmony's Edge, writing his report for the Galactic Federation. The humans had been very helpful, sharing lots of information about their world and their species. "This should be simple," Veltar said to himself as he typed on his computer. "Standard Class 7 habitable world, developing intelligent life, ready for integration in 30 standard cycles." He looked at his notes from the conversations with the humans. They seemed like a normal species. They lived in cities, they had governments, they made art and music. Nothing unusual there. Their technology was a bit behind most Federation members, but that was expected for a newly discovered world. Dr. Kesara walked into his office carrying a data tablet. "Commander, I have finished organizing all the information the humans gave us. Are you ready to send the classification report?" "Almost done," Veltar replied. "What did you think of their planet data?" Kesara sat down in the chair across from his desk. "Everything looks normal. It is a nice water world with good conditions for carbon-based life. The humans seem to live comfortably there. I recorded it as having a stable climate and safe environment." Veltar nodded and continued typing. "The humans were very friendly during our talks. Captain Morrison and Dr. Garcia answered all our questions. They seem excited about joining the Federation. They asked many good questions about other member worlds," Kesara said. "They want to know about our technology, our cultures, our history. Very curious species. That usually means they will do well in the galactic community." Veltar finished his report and sent it through subspace to Federation headquarters. The message would take 2 days to reach the classification center. Then, Administrator Quelnox would review it and make it official. On the classification center space station, Administrator Quelnox was having a normal workday. He had processed 47 world classifications this week. Most were empty planets with no life. A few had simple plants or animals. This new report from the Outer Rim looked like another easy approval. "Earth, Sol System, Outer Rim Sector 7, he read aloud to himself. "Class 7 habitable world, oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere, Single intelligent species called humans. Population 8 billion. Peaceful first contact completed. Integration timeline 30 cycles. Quelnox stamped the report with his approval. He had seen thousands of reports just like this one. The humans would get a welcome package explaining Federation membership, some basic technology upgrades, and a cultural exchange program. Standard procedure. He sent the approved classification to the Diplomatic Corps, the Trade Commission, and the Cultural Exchange Office. Within hours, all three departments began preparing their standard programs for integrating a new Class 7 civilization. Back on Earth, Jake Morrison was still on the space station, but now he was talking to aliens every day. The conversations had become more detailed as both sides learned each other's languages better. Commander Veltar, Jake said during their morning talk, Dr. Garcia has prepared some basic information about Earth's environment. She thought you might want to know about our planet's features. That would be very helpful, Captain Morrison, Veltar replied from his ship. We like to understand the worlds our new friends come from. Dr. Lisa Garcia joined the conversation, from Houston. Hello, Commander. I have gathered some standard planetary data for you. Should I start with our climate information? Please do, said Dr. Kessera, who was also listening. Lisa looked at her notes. Earth has a variety of climate zones. Our equatorial regions reach temperatures of about 50 degrees Celsius on hot days. Our polar regions can get as cold as minus 40 degrees Celsius. Most humans live in the areas between these extremes. Dr. Kessera wrote down the numbers, but she noticed something strange. Those temperatures seemed very extreme. Most Federation worlds had much smaller temperature ranges. That is quite a range, Kessera said. Do humans have trouble living in such different conditions? Lisa laughed. Oh no, we are very adaptable. Humans live in all climate zones. We have cities and hot deserts, cold mountains, and everything in between. We just wear different clothes and build our houses differently. Jake added. Some humans even choose to live in the most extreme places. We have research stations in Antarctica where it stays frozen all year. We have towns in Death Valley where it hardly ever rains. Veltar found this interesting. Your species must be very hardy to survive in such different environments. I guess we are, Jake said. We never really thought about it. It just seems normal to us. Dr. Garcia continued with her report. Our planet is also geologically active. We have about 1,500 active volcanoes around the world. We get roughly 500,000 earthquakes each year, though most are too small for people to feel. Dr. Kessera stopped writing and looked at her tablet screen. 2,500 active volcanoes, 500,000 earthquakes per year. Those numbers seemed impossibly high. Most stable worlds had maybe 1 or 2 volcanoes and a few small earthquakes each year. Dr. Garcia, Kessera said slowly. Are you sure about those numbers? That seems like a lot of geological activity. Oh yes, I double-checked everything, Lisa replied. Actually, those are just the averages. Some years we have more. We had a big earthquake in Japan a few years ago that was magnitude 9.0, and we have several volcanic eruptions every month somewhere on the planet. How do humans deal with such dangerous conditions? Asked Veltar. Jake and Lisa both seemed confused by the question. Well, we build our cities to handle earthquakes, Jake said, and we monitor volcanoes so people can move away if they are going to erupt. It is just part of life on Earth. Most humans do not worry about it too much, Lisa added. We have bigger problems to think about, like weather and climate change. Dr. Kessera felt a small worry in her stomach. Weather problems on top of volcanoes and earthquakes? What kind of weather problems do you have? The usual stuff, Lisa said. Hurricanes, tornadoes, blizzards, floods, droughts. We get pretty severe storms. Last year, a hurricane had winds over 300 kilometers per hour, and we had a tornado in Oklahoma that was almost 5 kilometers wide. Veltar and Kessera looked at each other across the bridge. These numbers were starting to sound very unusual. Most Federation worlds had gentle weather patterns. Do these storms cause problems for human cities? Veltar asked. Sometimes, Jake admitted. But we rebuild quickly. Humans are good at adapting to disasters. We have emergency plans for every type of weather. Lisa continued reading from her notes. Oh, and I should mention our radiation exposure. Earth's magnetic field protects us from most solar radiation, but we still get more than many planets. Because our sun is quite active, we get solar flares that can disrupt our electronics. Dr. Cassara was now taking notes very quickly. High radiation, extreme weather, geological instability, massive temperature ranges. This was starting to sound like a very dangerous world. How long do humans typically live in these conditions? She asked. Our average lifespan is about 80 years, Lisa replied. Some people live over 100. My grandmother is 95 and she still works in her garden every day. Veltar felt confused. If Earth was so dangerous, how did humans live so long? How did they have such a large population? Something was not adding up. We should probably end today's conversation here, Veltar said. Thank you for all the information, Dr. Garcia and Captain Morrison. After the communication ended, Veltar turned to Dr. Cassara. Does something seem strange to you about their planet? Very strange, Cassara replied, looking at her notes. These conditions sound much more extreme than our classification suggests. Maybe we should review the data more carefully. Good idea, Veltar said. Run a full analysis on everything they have told us. I want to make sure we classified their world correctly. Neither of them realized they were about to discover something that would shock the entire galaxy. Dr. Cassara had not slept well in 2 days. She sat in her laboratory aboard the Harmony's edge, surrounded by data screens showing information about Earth. The numbers made no sense. Every time she checked her calculations, they showed the same impossible results. Computer, run the analysis again, she said to the ship's artificial intelligence. Compare Earth's conditions to all known habitable worlds in the Federation database. The computer's voice was calm and electronic. Analysis complete. Earth's environmental conditions exceed safe parameters for 89% of known intelligent species. Gravity is 2.3 times Federation standard. Atmospheric pressure is 40% higher than recommended levels. Temperature variations are classified as extreme. Cassara stared at the screen. Computer, how many Federation species could survive on Earth's surface without protective equipment? Calculating. Only 127 species out of 12,000 Federation members could survive Earth's surface conditions for more than 72 hours. Of these, only 23 species could live there permanently. That cannot be right, Cassara whispered. She called Commander Veltar on the internal communication system. Commander, please come to the laboratory immediately. We have a serious problem. Veltar arrived within minutes. He found Cassara looking very worried, surrounded by data displays showing red warning symbols. What is wrong, Doctor? Everything we know about Earth is wrong, Cassara said. Look at these readings. The humans live on a world that should kill most galactic species within days. Veltar looked at the screens. Explain what you have found. Start with gravity, Cassara said, pointing to one display. Earth's gravity is more than twice what most species can handle. The humans talk about it like it is normal, but it would crush the bones of a Zephyrian like you within hours. That is impossible, Veltar said. The humans seem perfectly healthy. Captain Morrison moves around easily on their space station. Because they evolved in that gravity, Cassara explained. Look at these biological scans from our conversations. Human bones are incredibly dense. Their muscle structure is designed to work against massive gravitational force. They are built like living machines. She switched to another screen. And their atmosphere. They breathe oxygen at concentrations that would be toxic to most Federation species. Plus they have all that nitrogen. For us, spending an hour breathing, their air would cause severe poisoning. Veltar felt his 4 hearts beating faster. What about the temperature ranges they mentioned? Deadly, Cassara said simply. Most Federation species can only survive in temperature ranges of about 10 degrees. Humans live comfortably in ranges of 90 degrees or more. They told us some humans choose to live in places with temperatures that would freeze Andorian blood, solid or boil Centaurian body fluids. The communication system beeped. Captain Morrison was calling for their daily conversation. Commander Veltar. Jake's voice came through the speakers. Are you ready for today's cultural exchange session? Veltar looked at Kessara nervously. Yes, Captain Morrison. We have some questions about human biology and lifestyle. Great, Jake replied. I have some friends here who wanted to meet you. This is Sergeant Amy Collins from the Army. She teaches survival training. A new human voice joined the conversation. Hello, aliens. Jake told me you wanted to know about how humans live. I can tell you about that. Sergeant Collins, Dr. Kessara, said carefully. Can you describe your survival training work? Amy laughed. Sure. I teach soldiers how to stay alive in extreme environments. Desert training, Arctic survival, jungle warfare, mountain climbing. Basic stuff every soldier needs to know. Kessara and Veltar looked at each other with growing alarm. What do you mean by desert training? Veltar asked. We take soldiers to places like Death Valley or the Sahara Desert, Amy explained. Temperatures over 50 degrees Celsius, no water for days, walking across sand for hours. We teach them how to find water, build shelter, and keep fighting even when conditions are brutal. And Arctic survival? Kessara asked weakly. That is the fun part, Amy said. We go to Alaska or northern Canada in winter. Temperatures down to minus 40 degrees. We teach soldiers to build shelters from snow, find food, and operate equipment when it is so cold that metal breaks if you hit it wrong. Dr. Kessara was typing frantically, recording everything. These humans were describing training exercises that would be considered torture for most galactic species. Sergeant Collins, Veltar said slowly, how long do humans usually survive in these extreme conditions? Oh, weeks or months if they know what they are doing, Amy replied casually. I once spent 3 months in the Arctic with just basic equipment. Not comfortable, but totally doable if you stay smart and tough. Another voice joined the conversation. This is Dr. Ben Taylor. I work in a hospital emergency room. Jake thought, you might want to know about human medical treatment. Dr. Taylor, Kessara said, what kinds of injuries do you treat? Everything, Ben said cheerfully. Car accidents, falls from high places, burns, broken bones, cuts from sharp objects. Last week I treated a construction worker who fell 3 stories onto concrete, broke 6 ribs in his left arm. He was back at work in 2 months. Kessara could barely speak. A fall from 3 stories would kill most Federation species instantly. Really? Ben sounded surprised. For humans it is serious but not usually fatal if we get medical care quickly. Human bones are pretty strong, and our bodies can handle a lot of damage. We heal fast too. A third voice joined them. Hi there, aliens. This is Danny Walsh. I am a firefighter. What does a firefighter do? Veltar asked, though he was afraid to hear the answer. We run into burning buildings to save people, Danny said proudly. When everyone else is running away from fires, we go toward them. We wear protective gear, but we still work in temperatures over 300 degrees Celsius sometimes. Dr. Kessara nearly fell out of her chair. You voluntarily enter environments with temperatures over 300 degrees? Every day, Danny replied. It is our job. Someone has to help people when buildings catch fire. Last month I carried an unconscious man down 5 flights of stairs while the building was burning around us. Just part of the work. Are you considered unusually brave among humans? Kessara asked hopefully. Danny laughed. Not really. Every city has hundreds of firefighters. It is a pretty common job. My daughter wants to be one too when she grows. Jake Morrison spoke up again. Oh, I should mention something interesting. Tomorrow we are getting a visit from some people who want to tell you about human sports and recreation. Sports? Veltar asked. Yeah. The fun stuff humans do when we are not working, Jake said. Football, hockey, mountain climbing, deep sea diving, parachute jumping. You know, normal weekend activities. After the conversation ended, Commander Veltar and Dr. Kessara sat in complete silence for several minutes. Kessara, Veltar finally, said, I think we need to contact Federation headquarters immediately. Yes, she replied in a shaky voice. We have not discovered a normal civilization. We have found the most dangerous species in the known galaxy. And they think their lifestyle is completely normal, Veltar added. Should we tell them how terrifying they are? Kessara asked. I do not think they would understand. Veltar said. To them, surviving in conditions that would kill us is just daily life. He activated the emergency communication system. This is Commander Veltar calling Federation Emergency Classification Review. We have a Code 7 situation. We need immediate reclassification of the world designated Earth. What is the nature of the emergency? Came the reply from Federation Space. Veltar looked at all the impossible data surrounding them. We accidentally classified a Hellworld as habitable. The dominant species are apex predators who think extreme survival conditions are normal recreational activities. There was a long pause from Federation headquarters. Commander, please repeat that. Did you say recreational activities? Confirmed, Veltar replied. And tomorrow they want to tell us about their sports. The emergency meeting at Galactic Federation headquarters was the largest classification review in over 200 years. Representatives from dozens of species filled the great assembly hall. Admiral Zix Andra, a tall crystalline being from the outer spiral, called the meeting to order. We are here because of an unprecedented situation, Admiral Zix Andra announced. Commander Veltar has requested emergency reclassification of a world called Earth. The initial report classified it as a standard Class 7 habitable world. The emergency report suggests this was incorrect. Dr. Mel Oryx, the Federation's chief xenobiologist, stood at the center podium. Her tentacles moved nervously as she spoke. I have reviewed all data from the Earth survey. The findings are disturbing. This world should not be capable of supporting complex life. Director Quintal from the Diplomatic Corps raised one of his 6 arms. What exactly makes this world so dangerous? The initial report seemed normal. Dr. Mel Oryx activated a holographic display showing Earth's data. The gravity alone should crush most Federation species. The atmospheric composition is toxic to 73% of our members. The temperature ranges exceed survival parameters for nearly all known life forms. But they said the dominant species thrives there, said Administrator Quelnox, who was responsible for the original classification. How is that possible? Because they are not like us, Dr. Mel Oryx replied. These humans have evolved into something we have never encountered before. They are perfectly adapted to survive in conditions that would kill everything else. On the main screen, a communication link opened to the Harmony's edge. Commander Veltar appeared, looking exhausted and worried. Commander Veltar, Admiral, Zixandra said, please give us your full report. Veltar took a deep breath. Admiral, we are dealing with a species that considers extreme survival situations to be normal daily activities. Yesterday they told us about their recreational pursuits. I recorded everything. Show us, the Admiral commanded. The recording began with Jake Morrison's voice. Commander Veltar, I would like you to meet Coach Rick Barnes. He works with young humans in competitive activities. Rick's voice came through clearly. Hey there, aliens, I coach high school football. That means I teach kids age 15 to 18 how to run into each other as hard as they can while trying to carry a ball. In the assembly hall, several Federation representatives made sounds of shock. The recording continued. These kids slam into each other at full speed, sometimes getting knocked unconscious. We call it building character. Every Friday night, thousands of people come to watch teenagers give each other concussions for fun. Dr. Mel Oryx paused the recording. This human describes organized violence between their young as entertainment. The forces involved would shatter most Federation species' bones. There is more, Veltar said grimly. He continued the recording. This is Chef Maria Santos, came another human voice. I run eating competitions. Humans compete to see who can consume the most food in the shortest time. Last week, a man ate 47 hot dogs in 10 minutes. What are hot dogs? Dr. Kessera had asked in the recording. Processed meat tubes with spices that burn your mouth, Maria explained. We make them extra spicy for the competition. Some contestants' faces turn red and they start sweating, but they keep eating. The crowd loves it. Admiral Zixandra looked around the assembly. They consume toxic substances for entertainment. Veltar nodded. It gets worse. They also mentioned something called competitive eating of Carolina Reaper peppers. When I researched this, I found it is a plant so chemically aggressive it is used as a weapon deterrent on some worlds. The recording played another section. Hi, aliens. This is Paramedic Tony Ross. I work on ambulances rescuing people from dangerous situations. What kinds of situations? Dr. Kisara had asked. Car crashes, building collapses, people falling off mountains, drowning victims, people struck by lightning. Last month I pulled a guy out of a car that had rolled over 6 times and caught fire. He walked away with just a few scratches. Director Quintal stood up quickly. Their vehicles regularly crash and catch fire, and they consider this normal? They have millions of vehicles, Veltar explained. Crashes happen thousands of times per day. They just accept it as part of transportation. The recording continued with more human voices. This is Marine veteran Susan Price. I served in combat zones where the temperature was 55 degrees Celsius during the day and people were shooting explosive projectiles at us. We called it Tuesday. Another voice joined. Park Ranger Joe Mitchell. Here. I work in Yellowstone, a nice quiet park built on top of a supervolcano that could destroy half the continent if it erupts. Families bring their children there for vacations. The assembly hall fell completely silent. This is pediatric nurse Katie Lopez, the recording went on. I help human mothers give birth to babies. The process takes hours of extreme pain and physical trauma that would kill most adult Federation species. Human females do this voluntarily, sometimes multiple times. Dr. Mel Oryx was making rapid calculations on her tablet. The biological stress of human reproduction exceeds the torture tolerance of our most resilient military species. The final voice on the recording was an elderly human. This is Grandmother Helen Brown. I am 87 years old. I grow vegetables in my backyard garden. Tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic. Most of these plants are toxic to other species, but we eat them every day. My great-grandchildren help me tend the garden. It keeps us all healthy. Admiral Zixandra turned to her staff. How many Federation species could safely consume these garden plants? Approximately 340 out of 12,000, Dr. Mel Oryx replied. For the others, a single tomato would cause severe poisoning. Veltar spoke from the screen. Admiral, there is one more thing. The humans want to show us their Olympics next week. They described it as a gathering where humans compete to see who can perform the most extreme physical feats. They seemed very excited about events called pole vaulting, hammer throwing, and something called the decathlon. What is a decathlon? Asked Director Quintal. 10 different physical challenges performed in sequence, Veltar replied. Running at high speeds, jumping incredible distances, throwing heavy objects, and more. They do it all in one day. The winners are considered the greatest athletes on their planet. Administrator Quelnox stood up, his face pale. Admiral, we need to immediately reclassify this world. These humans are not a developing civilization. They are a species of apex predators who have achieved space travel. Agreed, Admiral Zixandra said. Dr. Mel Oryx, what classification do you recommend? Dr. Mel Oryx looked at her data one more time. Admiral, our classification system only goes up to Class 10 for the most dangerous worlds known. Earth's conditions exceed all parameters. I recommend we create a new classification. Class 11, the Admiral asked. No, Admiral. Based on the environmental conditions and the capabilities of the dominant species, I recommend Class 13. This is not just a dangerous world. This is a world that creates the most dangerous life forms in the galaxy. The assembly erupted in shocked conversations. No world had ever been classified higher than Class 10 by Admiral Zixandra called for order. All in favor of reclassifying Earth as a Class 13 hell world? Every representative in the assembly raised their hands, tentacles, or appendages. Motion passed, the Admiral announced. Earth is now officially designated as the first Class 13 hell world in Federation records. From the communication screen, Commander Veltar spoke quietly. Admiral, what do we tell the humans about this change? Admiral Zixandra thought for a moment. Commander, I think we should be very, very nice to them. And whatever they want from us, we should probably give it to them. Understood, Admiral, Veltar replied. Should I mention that they invited us to visit their planet for something they call a barbecue? The entire assembly fell silent again. "Commander," the admiral said slowly, "what is a barbecue?" "They want to cook food over open flames and eat it outdoors while consuming fermented plant liquids," Veltar explained. Dr. Mel Oryx fainted and had to be carried out of the assembly hall. 2 weeks after Earth received its Class 13 classification, the biggest diplomatic meeting in galactic history was taking place. The Federation had built a special space station exactly halfway between Earth and the nearest Federation world. No alien wanted to get too close to the human Hellworld, but they also did not want to offend the terrifying new species. Admiral Zixandra stood in the main conference room, surrounded by representatives from every major Federation species. Through the large viewing window, they could see Earth's blue surface in the distance. It looked peaceful, but everyone in the room now knew better. "The humans will arrive in 1 hour," Admiral Zixandra announced. "Remember, we must be extremely polite. These beings live on a world that would kill us all within days. We cannot afford to make them angry." Director Quintal was reading from a thick handbook. "I have prepared a complete diplomatic protocol for dealing with Class 13 species. Rule 1, agree with everything they say. Rule 2, offer them anything they want. Rule 3, never ever visit their planet." Dr. Mel Oryx was still recovering from her fainting episode 2 weeks earlier. "I have analyzed more human data. It keeps getting worse. They mentioned something called extreme sports. Humans voluntarily jump off cliffs attached to elastic ropes. They call it fun. They also mentioned winter sports," added Administrator Quelnox. "Humans strap long boards to their feet and slide down frozen mountains at high speeds, often crashing into trees. They consider this relaxing." The communication system activated. Captain Jake Morrison's voice came through the speakers. "Federation Station, this is the human diplomatic ship Unity requesting permission to dock." Admiral Zixandra activated her microphone with a shaking appendage. "Welcome, honored humans. You have full permission to dock. We are thrilled to meet with you." 30 minutes later, the airlock opened and 5 humans walked into the conference room. They looked completely normal and harmless. Admiral Zixandra had to remind herself that these innocent-looking beings were the most dangerous apex predators in known space. Jake Morrison led the human group. With him were Dr. Lisa Garcia, Colonel Pete Davis, and 2 new humans the aliens had not met before. "Thank you for building this beautiful station for our meeting," Jake said with a smile. "This is Secretary of State Karen Walsh, and this is Dr. Frank Johnson, our cultural exchange coordinator." Admiral Zixandra bowed deeply. "It is our greatest honor to meet you, Secretary Walsh and Dr. Johnson. Please tell us how the Federation can serve humanity." Karen Walsh seemed surprised by the formal tone. "Well, thank you. We are excited about joining the galactic community. We have so much to learn from all of you." "Actually," said Dr. Mel Oryx nervously, "we think we have much more to learn from you. Your species has capabilities we have never encountered." Dr. Frank Johnson laughed. "Really? We are pretty ordinary. Just humans doing human things. Although I should mention, we brought some gifts from Earth to share with everyone." Every alien in the room tensed up. Gifts from a Class 13 Hellworld could be deadly weapons. Frank opened a case and pulled out several items. "We brought some Earth food for you to try. Chocolate, coffee beans, cinnamon, and hot sauce made from ghost peppers." Dr. Mel Oryx quickly scanned the items with her tablet. "Admiral, these substances would be classified as mild toxins or stimulant drugs on most Federation worlds. We eat them every day," Frank said cheerfully. "My kids love chocolate. My wife drinks coffee every morning, and I put hot sauce on everything." Karen Walsh pulled out another gift. "We also brought some music from Earth. Rock and roll, heavy, metal, and death metal. Very popular with humans." Dr. Mel Oryx scanned the audio files. "Admiral, these sound frequencies exceed recommended noise levels for most species. The volume could cause permanent hearing damage." "Really?" Jake asked. "Most humans listen to music much louder than this. We'd play it at concerts where thousands of people gather to hear it as loud as possible." Admiral Zixandra decided it was time to address the real issue. "Honored humans, we must be honest with you. We have reclassified your world. Oh, said Lisa Garcia. What class is Earth now? Class 13, the Admiral replied quietly. The humans looked at each other with confusion. Is that good or bad? Asked Colonel Davis. It is unprecedented, Dr. Mel Oryx explained. No world has ever been classified higher than Class 10. Your planet exceeds all known parameters for environmental danger. Karen Walsh frowned. I do not understand. Earth is a perfectly nice place to live. That is exactly the problem, Director Quintal said. You think conditions that would kill most galactic species are perfectly nice. Frank Johnson seemed genuinely puzzled. What conditions are dangerous? Earth has everything life needs: water, oxygen, reasonable temperatures, fertile soil. Your gravity would crush most of us, Admiral Zixandra explained. Your atmosphere is toxic to 73% of Federation species. Your weather patterns include storms that could destroy our cities. Your geological activity could wipe out entire civilizations. And yet you live there comfortably, Dr. Melorix added. Not only do you survive, but you engage in recreational activities that are more dangerous than our military training exercises. Jake Morrison suddenly understood. You think we are dangerous because we adapted to Earth's environment? Not dangerous to us, Admiral Zixandra said quickly. We would never suggest that humans are threatening. We simply recognize that you are the most capable species we have ever encountered. Lisa Garcia smiled. That is actually pretty cool. So what does this mean for Earth joining the Federation? It means, said Director Quintal, reading from his handbook, that Earth receives immediate full membership with complete autonomy. No Federation species is required to visit your planet without extensive life support systems, and we would like to offer you anything you want. Karen Walsh looked delighted. Anything we want? Within reason, Admiral Zixandra said nervously. Well, Karen said, we would love to learn about your technologies, medicine, energy systems, space travel improvements, and we would like to help with any problems the Federation might have. Help with problems? Dr. Mel Oryx asked. Colonel Davis spoke up. If you have any dangerous missions that are too risky for other species, humans would be happy to volunteer. We are good at handling extreme situations. The entire alien delegation exchanged worried glances. The humans were offering to do the jobs that were too dangerous for anyone else. We do have some situations, Admiral Zixandra admitted. There are a few worlds with hostile environments that need exploration, some rescue missions in dangerous space regions, research stations that need to be built in extreme conditions. Perfect, said Jake Morrison. Humans love challenges like that. Frank Johnson opened another case. Oh, I almost forgot. We brought an invitation. Earth would like to host the first Human Federation Cultural Festival next year. We want to show you our hospitality. On Earth, squeaked Administrator Quellnox. Of course, Frank replied. We thought you could visit our cities, see our natural parks, maybe attend a baseball game or a rock concert. We could have a big barbecue for everyone. Dr. Melorix began hyperventilating. A barbecue on a Class 13 Hellworld with apex predators who think volcanic parks are natural recreation areas. Karen Walsh noticed the alien's distress. Is something wrong? We just want to be good hosts. Admiral Zixandra made a command decision. Secretary Walsh, we would be honored to attend your cultural festival. However, we will need to bring significant life support equipment. Of course, Karen said. We want you to be comfortable. Although I should warn you, we might have some extreme weather during the festival. It is tornado season in Kansas and hurricane season in Florida, but we can work around that. The alien delegation collectively shuddered. As the meeting ended, Jake Morrison shook hands with Admiral Zixandra. The Admiral was surprised by the firm grip and incredible strength in the human's hand. Admiral, Jake said, we are really excited about working with the Federation. Humans have always dreamed of exploring the galaxy and making new friends. After the humans left, the alien delegation sat in stunned silence. Well, said Director Quintal finally, at least they seem friendly. Friendly apex predators from A Hellworld who want to help us with our most dangerous missions, Dr. Melorix replied. I need a vacation. Admiral Zixandra looked out at Earth in the distance. I have a feeling the galaxy is about to become a much more interesting place. She activated her communication system to send a message to Federation headquarters. This is Admiral Zixandra. The humans have accepted full Federation membership. They want to help with dangerous missions and host a cultural festival on their hell world. Recommend we prepare for the most terrifying friendship in galactic history. In the distance, Earth continued its peaceful rotation, completely unaware that its inhabitants had just become the most feared and respected species in the galaxy. Commander Veltar, still aboard the Harmony's Edge, sent his final report. Mission complete. We came to find primitives and found the universe's ultimate survivors. Recommendation: be very nice to humans and never ever complain about your working conditions again. Some species call a hellworld home and think it is paradise.